Good morning, Prospect. A couple of things that we are on the verge of doing, and I desperately need your input. Number one, I've had a lot of people mention that they would like us to begin singing again. I'm open to that if you are. So, especially those of you who are coming to the worship, put a comment and let us know how you feel about congregational singing. Second, there is a push to restart the children's Sunday school and then children's church. In order to do this, we're going to need more people than just Nancy and Rob. God bless them. I love them. But we need to have more people to help if we're going to restart our children's programs. I have said, and I'm not ashamed of what I said, that I'm done with coronavirus. I've gotten the first of my 2 shots, and I'm about 2 weeks now from the second. But I still want to be cautiously careful. And I want to make sure that all of you know that nothing I say is intended as a judgment. This past Sunday, Miss Bone came to church, and I was just proud to see her. And I don't want you to feel like I am in any way judging your decision to not come, because I promise you I'm not. I have gone through all of the same emotions that you are dealing with. I happen to have come to my conclusion for myself. But if you are suffering from compromised immunity, if you are uncomfortable being around crowds, if there is anything that is preventing you from coming to church, I'd much rather you stayed home. I have been in a couple of situations. John Daniluk invited me to a bar that he was running the sound for. And I went in to see what they do during their regular work week. And I realized when I walked in the door, there were too many people in the bar. And that was just me personally. I just was not comfortable having that many people around me anymore. But also went back to the gym. I've mentioned that a couple of times, and it's just because it's something new. And I recognized the first time I went in, there were way too many people in the gym for me to be comfortable. So I found a time. My point is, I will have fun and cut up. I make fun of myself more than anything else, I hope. But no one is going to judge your choices and your decisions, because I want you to be safe. Now, with that being said, I heard something this morning that was absolutely it stopped me in my tracks, and I backed up what I was listening to and listened to it again. Excuse me. The author said that when you find the key to your whole heart, you will find the key to the kingdom of heaven. And that spoke to me in a way that I hadn't really thought about before, because so many of us are divided in our hearts. And we have to get to the point where we love God with our heart, whole heart, so that God can replace the heart of stone that is in us and replace it with a heart of flesh. One of the ways I think we have to do this, I have a meeting on Tuesday mornings at 7:30 that is a Zoom meeting, and we played a video from a young man named Kyle Idleman. The series is called Grace is Greater Than. And we were listening to it this morning, and the young lady who was the focus of the video had been attacked and stabbed and was hurting, and she was afraid, and she was very rightfully afraid. But it got to the point where she said that when she went to bed at night, she would push the dresser up against the door, and she would call the jail at night to make sure that the person who had attacked her was still in prison. And she said she realized that it was killing her. And she realized that she had to let it go. And if you look it up on YouTube, you can look up Kyle Idleman and Grace Greater Than. This, I think, is the fourth of those videos. But she said that she never thought that she would be able to forgive the man who took her life away from her, who took her confidence, who took her well-being. But she said something that forgiving him freed her. She actually said that she had gotten to the point where she was plotting to do to him what he had actually done to her when he was released. And she realized that that was poison. And it really is, and it's the kind of poison that destroys you way more than it destroys the people that you're angry or afraid or hate, whatever the right word for you is. I'm not saying you ever trust those people again, but you do have to forgive. And I want to close with this because I think it applies to some of the things that we're trying to do, trying to get to where we go back to doing, even if we're doing it in a new way. This is Matthew chapter 11. To what will I compare this generation? It is like a child sitting in the marketplace calling out to others. We played the flute for you and you didn't dance. We sang a funeral song, but you didn't mourn. For John came, neither eating nor drinking, and they said, he has a demon. But the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they said, look, a glutton and a drunk, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Wisdom is proved to be right by her works. I want to close with this, because it's not just a little thing. Jesus was a friend of tax collectors and sinners. And if you notice, they give tax collectors their own special category, because in the Bible, tax collector was the most vile thing you could think of. You would never want to become a tax collector, because the way tax collectors in that day got paid was they would collect the appropriate taxes that were due, and then anything more than that that they could get out of you, they got to keep. So it was just it was an invitation to steal from people. But Jesus was a friend of sinners. If you read in the Bible all of the interactions that Jesus had, Jesus got to know the person, interacted with the person before he offered any sort of advice. He didn't just come in and go, you need to clean your act up. He allowed the person to talk, to tell their story, to open up. One of the things that young people have a problem with us as Christians is they think we're hypocrites because we're so judgmental. And I'm afraid they're right. So we need to learn to be more like Jesus in everything that we do. God bless you, Prospect.